Hey, everybody, it's your friend James Shaw. Trust you're doing okay. Thank you so much for joining us today. You know, Keller Williams Family Reunion is just around the corner, and a lot of you are going. A lot of people in our Pivot Shift Ahead communities and in our Keller Williams family are going to make the trip out to Family Reunion. And so I thought what we could do today is learn from some great people about how to get the most out of the event. You're investing time and money to get there. How do you get a return on that investment of time and money? So we pulled together a panel to help us of some absolute rock star people today, which I'm excited about, to teach us what to do. So we'll have them introduce themselves. Monica, we'll start with you. Tell us who you are, a little bit about you, and then we'll get started. Go ahead, Monica.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that. I'm Monica Reynolds. I'm, of course, a MAPS executive coach. Was the VP of MAPS, and then I retired and went on back into coaching. And so it's a great experience to be on this call with everyone. And one of the key things is I'm a systems person. So I think, James, I'd share with everyone, there's pre-going to the family reunion, there's at the family reunion, and then after the family reunion. So there's really three categories to talk about.
And we'll talk about it, which would be great. Jesse, who are you?
Hey, I'm Jesse Coleman, productivity coach and director of growth at KW1 Chicago, and also board of advisors for KWYP. And more so just how to build those relationships at family reunion to actually connect with somebody and not just throwing your business card in someone's lap.
We're going to talk about how to do that, which is important. Hi, Jordan.
Hey. So I'm Jordan Sibley. I am a team leader in Metairie, Louisiana, just outside of New Orleans, and I'm also a KWU instructor. And I'm excited to share over the 6 family reunions that I've been to, how I've been able to be purposeful and really plan ahead to make sure I get the absolute most out of the experience, because there's definitely some tips and tricks. Amazing conference, but it can be overwhelming if you're not prepared.
Yeah, no doubt. I've been to 19 of them, and the first few, well, they still get overwhelming to me at times, right? and so, like, seriously, a lot of us are going a long way to get there. We're investing, like I said, a ton of time, a ton of money. We want to get the best return. But Monica, you said it starts before you go. Tell us about what you'd recommend before you go to make sure you're ready.
You know, it starts before you go, and there's a couple of things. And one of the key things is if you have a team, you have to set up the communication. So, for example, if you're going to have a time like at 12:30 Eastern Central, whatever time zone you're in, so your assistant is available to take that call, so you're not frustrated trying to look for that person. Make sure all your clients are informed that you're going to be at a training, blah, 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 however you want to do that. And more importantly, you're looking at your leads and you're calling them and pushing them for appointments for when you get back. Check in on all your closings, of course. The other thing that I think is critical at this time is to schedule all the breakouts. Take a look on the website, look at all the breakouts that you want to go to. Make sure that you're intentional about that. And then schedule lunch and dinners with other agents from around the country that you know to start to network and say, who would you like to invite? Who do you know? Do that now and get those dinner reservations now. So there's a lot of pre-work, but basically it goes back to setting up your communication with your clients and with your assistant, your team, however that should be. And then, of course, again is pack comfortable shoes and be ready to layer clothes. It's going to be freezing in the room and it's going to be hot. It's not going to be in the middle.
No doubt about it. It's going to be cold. I always see people in shoes that I'm going, how are you wearing those? Like, how legit are you wearing those walking around this place? And it's going to be, but I always tell people, listen, if you're cold, go stand in the corner. It's 90 degrees.
Yeah, there you go.
Monica brought up, by the way, to maybe go look at your breakouts ahead of time. Events.kw.com is where you can do that, to look at what the breakouts are. And I love, listen, a MAPS coach is going to tell you, call your leads, call your current clients, because they don't want you. Monica, sometimes people go to an event like this and a 5-day event becomes a 3-week delay in business. We don't want that to happen here.
Yeah, but imagine, James and everyone, if you set appointments with your leads and say, gosh, I'm just calling to touch base with you. I'd like to set an appointment for, hey, let's look on that Thursday or Friday, the 29th or whatever, if there isn't one in February. I forgot to look. I think there is. But, let's set a tentative appointment there. I just want to make sure we stay in touch. You don't need to tell a lead you're leaving town.
Yep.
However, you do need to make sure you're bringing your leads, and you are conscious that if a call comes in, you're going to have to at some point get back to them and then tell them the truth where you're at.
That's great. Jordan, what would you add about on the front end? You said you had some tips too.
Yeah, absolutely. So, whether you're a single agent or a rainmaker, team member, go with a purpose. Take a look at all of the breakout sessions in advance and go with one or two topics that you really want to focus on in your mind before you get there. Because there are so many amazing breakouts. I remember my first family reunion, I'm like, okay, there's 30 things I want to go to. How am I going to accomplish this? But if you tell yourself, look, I really want to master hosting high level open houses, and I really want to get better at geographic farming, look for those types of events in advance, or those breakouts in advance, so that you can go with a purpose and really feel like you're leaving with actionable items versus maybe just kind of going to whatever sounds cool. And then you leave with a huge notebook full of notes, but you're a little overwhelmed with how to implement what you learned.
Yeah, that's really good advice. And also maybe pick a couple, because you might get to a room and it may be full,
Yeah.
and so you might need a backup plan or something like that. Jordan, what would be a great way to determine what the best thing is? Because sometimes you just look at the list and it's like going to Golden Corral, and we like everything on the buffet, but we
Yeah.
can't have everything on the buffet. How would you recommend someone narrows it down on what they might want to attend?
So for me and my husband, when we had a small team, we would look at what are we struggling with right now. Let's go and learn from experts on those topics. If you have a MAPS coach or even your team leader, if you need help identifying what you should be focusing on, they're great people to go and ask as well. But I would definitely say whatever challenges you're having in your business, that is what I would personally focus on learning about while you're there.
That's great advice. Okay, Jesse, one reason why I wanted you on is because I've appreciated watching you and your growth inside of Keller Williams over the last few years, and you've done a great job leading KWYP and being very involved in that in Chicago. You have figured out how to network and create community, and that's one of the reasons why we go to events like this, right?
Yeah. I tell people all the time, have a goal for yourself of how many new people you want to meet at family reunion. People always laugh because I tell them I don't want to hang out with my market center at family reunion because I see them every day. My goal is to go and meet new people. So that's the main purpose of what I do, is to go build those relationships and then also solidify the relationships that I already have with people that I've been networking with in the Pivot Shift group and other KW groups as well.
Yeah, it's good advice. I've seen it for years. In fact, when I was a team leader, I used to be the one that got there 2 hours before the doors open so I could go save 35, 50 seats from my market center. And then later I realized, wait a minute, we're all in team meeting once a week together. Why the heck are we sitting together? And why am I getting here 2 hours early to run my hiney down the aisle? And Jay Papasan's like, no running, as I'm flying down the thing. It's like, let's spread out, go meet some people. But Jesse, we got to teach them how to meet people, because listen, we've seen it. We talked about earlier that people go to the coffee line and they're like, "Hi, let me be your referral partner in Nashville," and they pass out something. That's not networking. Teach them how to network, Jesse.
So one of the main things I do is I always walk up to people and I pretty much ask them, hey, I introduce myself. I'm Jesse Coleman from Chicago, Illinois. And what is your real estate goals? What are you looking to accomplish in the next year or two? And then as we get the dialogue going and they're telling me what their goals are and what they're looking to accomplish, and then I share my goals with them as well. And after that, we exchange information, and then I follow up with them while we're at family reunion and say, hey, I have dinner reservations here, or I'll be going here for coffee. I would love for you to stop by and for us to have a conversation for a little bit, just to get a little bit more connected with each other. And as we know, a lot of great relationships are built on the golf course or out having a cigar or out having dinner. So that's really, dropping that wall, opening up and being able to connect with people.
That's great. Monica,
So
what would you
Steve,
add about, at the event and how to meet and how to handle it and network and stuff like that?
well, first of all, I'd be very purposeful if I was coaching and I said a minimum of 250 business cards. Now, I asked KWU, they didn't have the answer. Maybe someone does on the call, if they're having QR codes again on the badges. I think they are, but I don't know for sure. So bring 250 business cards with the intention of coming back with 250 business cards. And then I'm a great proponent. You never stand in line and not say anything. So I have 3 questions that I've always asked. So, I say, I'm Monica Reynolds, Keller Williams, Austin, Texas. Let me ask you a question. What's your main source of lead generation? I want to hear what they do to find business. Then I'll say, well, what's your best money making idea? And what made you money last year? I want to hear that. And then my third question is, what's the biggest mistake you made in real estate last year? I want to hear that. Usually it's always the same thing. Oh, I didn't lead generate enough. I didn't follow my schedule. I hired the wrong assistant. I said, well, I can help with that. But so there's a lot of, those are the questions that I really feel that are empowering to engage in a really good conversation. Now, when you brought up, say you want to be more efficient or something at open houses, then I'd ask a question. Do you do open houses? What are some tips that you do to have a successful open house? What's your conversion rate? So if you have an intention, which is really smart to know, here's my holes in my business, here's what I'm going after, then number one, you're going to ask a question about that also.
That's really good. It's being at family reunion on purpose, with purpose.
Yeah.
And I always like to remind people it's a business trip. Let's remember this is a business trip. And listen, when I joined Keller Williams, that was the year, Monica, we had 3 in a row in Las Vegas. That was right when I joined Keller Williams. We're talking 2005 and 6. And I was a little bit younger, and I may have forgotten that it was a business trip. And, and things may have gotten a little out of hand. I'm just going to be transparent. Now I've recognized it's a business trip. Let's talk about how to handle the social aspect of family reunion, because you're meeting people, you're having fun, you're going to be in Vegas, there's a ton going on. Jordan, what would you tell them to remind them it's a business trip?
Well, this is a once a year opportunity, and for some people, once in a lifetime opportunity to go and learn from the best of the best. You have the whole rest of the year to go off and have fun, have a great vacation. So if you're looking forward to the vacation aspect, hey, fly in a few days early or stay a little bit late. But while you're there, remember, like James said, this is a business trip, and I want to stay focused because my whole goal of coming here is to become a better version of myself.
Yeah.
I've never been that person that wasn't always in the very first breakout session and staying till the very end. So I don't know that I can relate too well with the party animals.
Well, you do live in New Orleans, so you should be able to get this figured out. But no, you're exactly right. It's go and with purpose and on purpose. All right. Anything else about while you're at family reunion that any of you want to make sure that the people watching understand?
One of the most successful things I've seen when people attend family reunion, they stay on a very tight schedule, meaning when they go to dinner, it's like from 7 to 8:30. At 9 o'clock, they're back in their room. Then they're getting up and they're going and working out in the morning. So, so you follow a schedule and you don't allow yourself to walk in, go to bed at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, which is so easy to do in Vegas. So you go with purpose. And like you said, James, go out 2 days early or go 1 day early and stay 2 days later, whatever. Make this a business environment where you are intentionally going to learn, and really work hard to set up great lunches and dinners with everyone and have people invite other people and get to know all kinds of people all over the country.
Yeah, what I'm hearing from all of you is get out and meet new people. That the people that you're going there with, that you see all the time, do stuff with them if you want, but encourage each other to let's go mix and mingle and get to know some new people. Jesse, I want to come to you because KWYP is a huge part of what you do, and that's such a great community. And KW has done such a great job over the last couple of years of creating these different communities for people to engage in. You can go into the what do they call that thing where all the vendors are, the vendor hall, and learn about the different communities. But what advice would you give, Jesse, about getting to know people in different communities inside of KW?
I would say that's a huge component of your business and what it is that you want to do, because it's a team effort. We're in different markets, but when you build those relationships and different communities, now you're that person that everybody is looking for. I have people that come to me and say, hey, Jesse, I need somebody that does commercial in Texas. Well, I have a relationship with the commercial community that I can always connect them with that. Or if I have somebody that say, hey, I have a baseball player that's looking to relocate, do you know somebody that can assist with that type of client? And I say, yes, I know somebody with our sports and entertainment division that I can connect you with. So when you're at the convention center and you're in the expo hall, definitely stop by the other community booths, exchange information, see what they're doing, get those connections, because you can be that connector between different people that can help out.
That's great. Monica, let's talk about the wrap-ups. Now you've gone to family reunion, you've taken your notes, you've learned all the stuff, you've been to every vendor, you're coming back with so much free junk you're going to throw away, all the stuff. Now what do you do when you get back? Because we've got implementation stuff that we got to figure out, but we also have how we build and nurture the relationships that we've created too. There's really kind of two pieces of this, Monica.
Yeah. So if you're driving home, and hopefully not driving, you're looking at your notes. If you're flying, you're looking at your notes because it's fresh. And then you're going to rate them in order of importance, starting with number one. And number one is that one idea that you're going to implement that's going to make the biggest impact on your business. Now, that idea may take 20 minutes. It may take 20 days to implement. Then idea number two, you only put one idea at a time, called the one thing, one at a time. Otherwise, you got 19 things going and nothing happens. If you have a team, don't go back and vomit 50 ideas on your assistant and say, hey, here's what we got to implement. Let's get it done this week. That's not how it goes. So look at all your notes and transform them over to one page, a one pager like Gary Keller always teaches. What's the first idea that's going to make an impact? What's the second idea that's going to make an impact? Now, I keep all of my notes, which is crazy. And like I was telling everybody earlier, I was at the first family reunion. So, I've gone to a few of them, right? And I still have all my notes because there's not a whole lot of stuff new in real estate. It's all about the basics and where you're at in your business. And so sometimes where you're at in your business is that, okay, that makes sense to me. And you didn't hear it before, but you've heard it now. And so rating them in order of importance, one at a time.
That's really good advice. I've seen it where people do come back and they're like, here's all these amazing ideas that we need to implement right away. And your admin person doesn't know where to start, is already going, we are barely keeping things moving as we are. Now you want to add this stuff. I learned something from our dear friend Dave Jenks many years ago. He said, here's how you come back from an event. He said, go open your Excel spreadsheet and just list out every idea that you learned, everything you learned at family reunion that you think you want to implement in your business. And that list it could be 50, 60 things. It might be 5 or 6 or 50 to 60, but just list them all out. He said, and then in the next column, what you're going to do is rate each one on a scale of 1 to 10 on importance. Like, how vital is it that I add this to my business? A 10, it's extremely important. A 1, it's not that important. And don't think too hard. Just boom, 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 right down the line. This is an 8, this is a 9, this is a 4, whatever. List it out on how important it is that you implement that strategy in your business. Then the next column, you're going to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10 on how easy is it to implement in my business.
Good one.
If it's really easy to implement, in other words, it's one click of a button, that's a 10. If I'm missing a ton of systems and need to do a bunch of research, that's a 1. So now you've got your, how important is it? This my importance scale on a scale of 1 to 10. My implementation, my ease of implementation scale on a 1 to 10. He said, multiply the two scores and start at whatever is closest to 100. Because the thing that's closest to 100 is going to be the most important and easiest, and start there. So that's just a strategy y'all could use if you want. And I've always loved that from Dave.
And one other thing, James, too, is that take a highlighter, because we all take notes, however you're taking notes. And, if you're putting it on your iPad, then highlight the ideas where you go, oh, that's a good one. And so that you can easily go back and find those highlighted notes. Yeah,
it's really smart. I learned this from John Maxwell the other day. He says he reads a book twice. The first time he reads it, he highlights the stuff that sticks out to him. The second time he reads it, he reads only the highlights. He skips everything else. That's a good way to look at your notes. Jordan, you wanted to add something on this, I think.
Yeah, so I was going to say, make sure that when you get home, you have somebody holding you able to achieving whatever it was you plan to go there and learn about. So after you make those amazing lists and you find your priorities, get with your coach, get with your team leader, get with an accountability partner in the office, so that you make sure that people know, hey, I had this goal when I went, I learned about it, now hold me able to achieving it.
That's really good. Jesse, what do you want to add about follow-up? You built this network of people. You want to earn business and referrals and stay in touch. What would you share?
So the first thing I would do is I'll say, hey, I took notes around these breakouts. How about we share notes with each other? What were the notes that you taken from the breakouts you went to? And here's the notes that I've taken. And then you can share that. So now you're building on top of those relationships. And then also, after you've built those relationships, now what I do is I have an agent newsletter that I send out every 2 months to the people that I previously met at the conventions, where I'm just staying up to date with them every 2 months. I'm reaching out on their KW anniversary date, and I'm reaching out on their birthday.
Oh, that's smart. I like it. All right, what did we miss? Give us our final pro tip, Monica, that you want to make sure everybody gets. We're going to do this for everybody. What is your final pro tip, Monica, for family reunion?
You know, go have fun. You got Tony Robbins, you got Gary Keller. Go have fun, get re-energized so that 2024 is your best year ever. Go get energized.
Jesse, what about you?
Make a goal to at least meet 20 to 25 new people.
Jordan?
Plan out your goal in advance, look at the map of the convention center, know where you're going, and be purposeful.
Yeah, I agree with all those things. And I'd say if you see any of us, come say hi. We'd love to say hi to you and meet you. So if you run into any of us at family reunion, come say hi and let us know where you are and who you are and what you hope to get out of the event. Monica, Jesse, Jordan, thank you so much for joining us today for this. I appreciate it. You all are awesome. We'll see you in Vegas. And thank you, everybody, for watching today. See you at family reunion. Bye-bye.